Hi, my name is Taylor, and I made this R6 rework record database to analyze game activity and help determine necessary future reworks. Now let's go to the ER diagram. So for this ER, let's start with ranked match. You can see that it contains match ID, which is the primary key, match date, and average rank of the players in the lobby. It also has a relationship with maps where it only has one map that you can play on per ranked match, but maps can be played across multiple different ranked matches. Ranked matches also consist of rounds, and rounds have a round ID, which is the primary key, a round number for context in the user interface, and active sites, which are rooms where you can plant the diffuser. Within a round, players can eliminate each other and plant the diffuser in one of the active sites. Um, these kill events and plant events relate to rooms because the plant event must take place in one room, specifically the one of the active sites, and the kill events can take place in two different rooms, one for where the shot was taken from, and one for where the other player was eliminated. Rooms can have an adjacency relationship with other rooms, and this includes any room that is touching any side of said room, including the top and bottom, as long as there is at least one destructible surface in between those two rooms. It could be an open area too, rather than a destructible surface, as long as there's some way of getting from that room to the other room. Rooms exist within a map. There can be multiple rooms in one map, but one room ID can only correspond to one map. On the other hand, rooms across different maps may have duplicate names. Back to the ranked matches. Ranked matches consist of map stats, which contain which map was played and the vote count for attempting to ban certain maps. Two maps can be banned per match. As for the operator stats, it's very similar. The amount of times an operator was played in a match across all the different rounds is the play count, and the vote count is the amount of attempts at banning said operator. Now on to reworks. Reworks consist of rework ID, rework date, and patch notes, and they are basically updates that are added to the game throughout time. Map reworks are reworks specific to maps, and operator reworks are reworks specific to operators. For both of these cases, there can be multiple reworks affecting the same map or operator, and there can be multiple maps being affected, multiple maps or operators being affected within the same rework. One use case of this database could be for bug fixes. For example, let's go to map reworks here, and we can see all the map reworks that have occurred. As you can see, this rework here was a bug fix for plants that could appear outside of active sites on the map called Bank. If we go to just before that time period and apply the filter, this is a filter for rework dates, we can see suspicious plant events, and sure enough, there is a suspicious plant event that occurred outside of the active site on Bank, and you can tell because there's this match ID matches up with this match ID. Bank is the map that was played for that match. Now I will go to just after that bug fix, and I will apply the filter. So, and you can see up here, it shows the time range that we're looking at. I'll click suspicious plant events, And as you can see, there are no suspicious plant events because that bug was fixed. This isn't deliberate proof that that was fixed, but it's a good sign that people have stopped using that exploitation. Another use case could be for strategic preferences. Say somebody's in a situation where they have to ban one of however many maps, and they don't really like any of them, but they don't have a preference of one over the other. So if their teammates agree with them and they happen to have this information accessible, they could go to top map bans by percent and see that clearly people dislike cafe more than others. Say you had both cafe and bank in this map pool, you could choose to ban bank because you don't have a preference, but it's quite likely that the other team would hate to get stuck on cafe and have a strategic disadvantage. Now for this data, you would want to go to the most recent patch, but in this case, there is not very much data here. There's only 9 bands total, which doesn't give a very accurate description of what people want, which is why I used the previous patch solely since there is sample data currently in the database instead of real player data. An example of an end-to-end relationship in this database is the adjacent room table, and it is used to calculate whether there is a potential issue for a kill event. As you can see here, I've highlighted it here to make it more visible, but we have the condition where if a shot was taken from in or beside the room where the death occurred, then that's okay. But if that is not the case, then it flags it for a suspicious kill, and you can review these quite easily with these show suspicious kill events button. The only reason there's none here is because we're on the most recent patch, which had no suspicious kills. If we go to a previous patch, you can see in this one, oh, sorry, I guess it's down here. In this one here, there were some suspicious kills that occurred. The reason that the adjacent room table is an end-to-end relationship is because one room can be connected to many other rooms, and one of those other rooms that it's connected to could also be connected to many other rooms, which is an example of an end-to-end relationship. Finally, to demonstrate a query based on results of a first query, that is demonstrated in this rework filter up here. But since I've already showed you that, this match history contains matches that were played. Let's say I click this bank one here, the first match. I can click show rounds in match, and it shows all the rounds that occurred in that match. And within one round, I can select to view the kills that occurred or the plants that occurred, so I can go into more detail or get more context if I'm investigating a potential issue with a kill event or plant event.